Hello all, I just wanted to show you the program that I did for the ferry house. So it's an HVAC system that has two thermostats. It has the economizer set into two binary outputs. So there's economizer 1 and economizer 2 for a 2-speed fan that I found on 12 volts. So it works like this. We have outside air temperature sensor and we have a zone temperature sensor. We have a set point for cooling, or set point overall, and then we have what we call the set point shift here, which all it does is add 1 degree so that this can help us with a dead band. We have then two thermostats, one for cooling and one for heating. The thermostat for cooling will take then the set point and dead band that is put over here, and it will also take into account our set point shift, and it will add it, and that will be what our set point or effective set point would be. Cooling works exactly the same but the other way around. So the cooling is going to take the same inputs, the dead band from here. It's also going to take the shift from here, a set point shift, the actual set point, and then it's actually going to subtract 1. What this does is that it allows us to have a dead band of 4 with only a differential here of 2. That differential is being set by this dead band. Now, once we move past that, heating is very simple. The heating will just determine is it on or is it off, and it'll send the signal. Are we supposed to raise temperature, yes or no? The cooling, that's the part that got a little more tricky, because then I try to make the cooling in a way that I will use the economizer, and if the temperature outside is good. So it works like this. If we are supposed to be lowering our temperature, and here it goes, lowering our temperature will go out, or our signal will go out to this end block that goes to economizer number 1, and economizer number 1 will go on if we are asking for cooling and if we have outside air temperature that is lower than our inside set point. If that is the case, then we will go ahead and start our economizing. This, because of the add 1 from the temperature shift, that already gives us a differential of outside temperature of at least 1 degree. So we will not even start the economizing unless it is at least 1 degree cooler than the room temperature. Actually 2 degrees cooler than room temperature, because it will be 1 degree of our shift, plus it needs to be lower than our set point. So if it's equal to set point, it won't go. It has to be 1 degree, which means our economizer will start working only if our outside temperature is at least 2 degrees cooler. So that's the number 1. And then stage number 2 of economizer will start working if stage 1 is working, and if we meet one more criteria, and the one more criteria that we meet again is a greater difference than 3 degrees in the inside temperature. So again, if we are calling for cooling, we have economizer 1 on, meeting all of that criteria, and the temperature is still greater than 3 degrees or 3 degrees greater than the set point that we have, economizer 2 will start working. Now, because at that point we're still trying to cool and it should be sufficient. If for some reason, however, outside temperature is too hot and we do not meet the criteria, then we're gonna have to use regular cooling. Regular cooling, remember, in the ferry house, it's a fan with a little bag of ice that it's gonna push right over the ice or tray of ice, and that's gonna cool the inside air of the ferry house. So for that, the logic that we use is I use a NOT block, so that cooling will only go on if economizer is not on. So if economizer does not satisfy, economizer open to 100% for some reason, the outside air temperature warms up and we can no longer use economizer, then the cooling will go on if we are asking or calling for cooling and economizer is not on. So right now, as it stands, let's go back here and see it. We have a zone temperature of 68. we have that our thermostat for heating says that our set point is 68, so we are exactly, the zone temperature right now is exactly within our dead band basically, and so nothing is on, everything is off at this time. I'm going to go ahead and shut this part off and gonna film the video of the actual house and how it works. All right.